spirit of the venue and the event, I have my notes on my external hard drive into which I am jacked in like a budget character from a William Gibson novel, which is a joke that will possibly divide the geeks from the civilians in this room. Anyone who knows science fiction well will know, one of the great causes of concern and unhappiness in the field is the extent to which science fiction has been marginalised and overlooked by what we might call the mainstream, if not indeed traduced. And this has been something that has been very upsetting to me for many years. So you can imagine my emotion when I discovered that the British Library was putting on an exhibition of science fiction. That emotion, of course, was unremitting outrage. Because what am I going to kvetch about now? What am I going to complain about? How can you take away this libidinally invested embattlement which I've built up over the years? So I took solace in the certain knowledge that they would do a terrible job. I can complain about that. And to my chagrin, it's terrific. It's all very annoying. I'll give you an example of some of the things they've done right. These days, as people will know, science fiction actually has a high cultural profile, but most people would probably associate that with movies. And while movies are not ignored in the exhibition, for a bibliophile like me, it's lovely to see literature, the literature of the fantastic and science fiction put front and centre, historically and coming right up to the modern day, very modern. The winner of the recent Arthur C. Clarke Award, Lauren Bucas, for example, is featured. We've already heard about how the themes around which the exhibition has been organised show that science fiction is not a literature of escapism, or perhaps I should say not always only a literature of escapism, but also a literature of serious social engagement. The exhibition focuses quite rightly on various justly celebrated names, and people looking for them will find Philip K. Dick and Heinlein and Le Guin and Samuel Delany and so on. But there's a couple of filigrees. On the one hand, one thing that's been done is a delightfully cheeky act of reverse inclusion, the inverse of what we have complained about so long, which is some of our own being claimed by the mainstream. And here, various writers like Neville Shute and Angela Carter, let alone the Brontes and Churchill, are cheerfully claimed as ours. I'm not sure whether we're going to give them back yet, we haven't decided. Those who have sometimes been excluded from the field, who are brought in, we're not only talking, though, about questions of literary fashion. There's also a focus here on some of those who've been excluded for other, more baleful reasons, like the drab tradition of canonizing white men. And in this exhibition, it's fantastic to see, for example, looking at the history of the field, not just Wells and Verne, but Charlotte Perkins Gilman and Margaret Cavendish, looking at the dystopias, not only talking about Orwell, but about Octavia Butler, Marge Piercy, George Schuyler, and people like that. You could say that an exhibition which declares its interest in alternate history is also part of the project of constructing an alternate history of science fiction itself. And I think that's a fantastic thing. So I grudgingly accept I've been won over, but I don't want to get people complacent. I mean, there are going to be arguments. I suggest you all brace yourself for the angry emails about who you've excluded and who you've included, who you shouldn't have done, and so on. But presumably we would all agree that those questions, those arguments, should be part of the desiderata of an event like this, should be part of the point, not a problem. And I really do want to give enormous thanks to the British Library because of the lack of exclusivity of this. And I think part of the point is not only, as has already been said, to bring those to the BL who wouldn't necessarily otherwise come, but to bring those who would otherwise come to the BL into the science fiction room, and to point out to them not only those people who may think they have no interest in this field, that actually they should be interested in it, but that they've been interested in it all along, without necessarily knowing it. Now, I've been told that after I speak there will be a short video loop, after which point the exhibition itself will be opened and we can go in and see what I confess won me. But I've also been told that I am actually allowed to close by saying certain words that I'm enormously proud of, which I am now going to say, and I think I may just retire after this moment. I declare this British Library exhibition open. Thank you.